Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dork Entertainment. We've got a cracking video for you today. We've got Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness review. I've got Samit here with me, and we're going to be discussing, in our non-spoiler review, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So we'll start off the bat. We'll just give you a warning here. This is the non-spoiler review, so there's no warning really, but...
what warning?
If you're looking for the spoiler review, that will be coming soon as well. But this is the non-spoiler review, so you don't have to worry.
No spoilers, no nothing. We're not discussing anything in here, so it's all good.
Yeah. So we'll start with our scores. So 7 out of 10 for me. I thought this was a good movie. Not great. Like, I thought there are better Marvel movies out there. It's a good movie, worth a watch, but it could have been so much better, I felt. So 7 out of 10 for me.
Oh, it was trash, man. I'm joking. It was an okay watch. For me, it's 7 out of 10. It's an okay movie. It's good, and it has its flaws. There are a lot of them, which we'll discuss. But yeah, it's a movie that's just, I think, hampered by some bad writing and some iffy directing. But it's still a good watch. I'll still watch it again, I guess.
Yeah. Look, my gripe with this movie is, without going into too much spoilers, we all know that Wanda is in this movie. Yeah. And of course Doctor Strange is in this movie. But I felt like this movie, it focused a lot on Wanda's story. It's a continuation from WandaVision, if you've seen that.
It's definitely a continuation of WandaVision. And for me, I think I don't think it's right, but you have to watch WandaVision to really understand what's going on here.
Yeah. To get it. Because if you don't watch WandaVision, you're basically coming from
it's just a bit odd. If you're not watching, if you haven't watched WandaVision, you coming from her latest appearance, which was Endgame, right?
And she was a good guy in that, right?
It's just a bit odd as to what's going on if you've come straight from there. And all of a sudden, she's got these kids that she thinks she has, and she's...
So you have to watch one.
Yeah, you kind of do, but
no choice.
Again, to me, that's the iffy directing part, right? There could have been a way that sort of can be explained with the grief of Vision and all that, and there was a couple of lines here and there, but it's just throwaway lines. I think it should have been done a bit better, and it just wasn't, unfortunately.
Yeah. So the story-wise, of course, the trailers don't give away too much, but there is a good story in this, right? Just not what I was expecting, from a multiverse movie. So in that sense, that's probably why I gave it a 7 out of 10, because the story, I felt, if you know Marvel, you know the multiverse, you know how expansive that is. For them to limit that a bit, I felt that was why my score was a bit low, but I understand that the last 2 or 3 movies, well, not last 2 or 3, but 2 or 3 movies recently in Marvel are setting up a massive multiverse. So this feels like another setup to what can be explored in the multiverse.
Yeah, and to me, I felt like maybe at one point this movie was going to be, just downright crazy. It still is, but even more crazier than it was. But I have a feeling they held back, and they've sort of made it so that this whole phase is all that. That's my theory on it. I could be wrong, but I believe that they're extending the story of the multiverse into a whole phase, and I think it's all going to end, all come to a conclusion with, I believe, Kang, and I believe Avengers: Secret Wars, which is a comic that deals with multiversal war. And different variants and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I believe is going to happen. But
so Kang, the character, of course, you'd have to have watched Loki.
Yeah.
But I believe with Kang, they're actually going to introduce him properly in Ant-Man.
Yeah. He's going to get properly cinematically introduced in there. He has been properly introduced, I guess, in a way, on Loki. But I just think they're gonna introduce him. Then they're gonna build up that thread of him. I feel like they might even kill him in Ant-Man.
Oh, wow.
But with Kang, it doesn't matter whether you kill him. His variants just keep popping up. That's why Kang is so difficult for the Avengers in a way, because
and
it won't matter how many times they kill him.
Yeah, and that's why this multiverse opens up a lot of possibilities for even characters who have died basically already. Like you could possibly see them again.
Yeah.
Which is why it's insane, right?
Yeah.
Let's just talk about the cameos quickly. Oh boy, the cameos. No, actually, sorry, we can't talk about the cameos because this is the non-spoiler review.
Yes,
right?
This is the non-spoiler review. But
there are cameos in this.
There are cameos.
Yes.
There are a couple, and yeah, they're very good. Like I thought,
good cameos.
It's good cameos, and
but what we'd suggest, both of us, is probably lower your expectations a bit in terms
a
of
little
the
bit.
hype about what or who could be in this, or everything you've heard. Just lower the expectation a little bit. The cameos are there. There are some cameos, and they are good, but probably not as hyped as I probably was.
Yeah, and
this movie.
It's really it's no bad on you that you were hyped that way, because the movie is called The Multiverse of Madness, and we were promised a lot of things like that. It's going to be crazy, off the wall, which in ways it is. But yeah, definitely lower your expectations a bit.
You know what? I've got to say, if the rumored cameos did happen, I've got to say my score would have been a bit higher.
Oh, you love those cameos.
It would have been above 8. Mate, some of the rumors. Anyway, let's not talk too much detail because it's nonsense.
Well, no, look. To me, you can have cameos as long as it serves the story, right? Yeah. And the way that it did in Spider-Man No Way Home, it served the story so well, and that for me was why I gave Spider-Man a higher score, because it was just written perfectly for me, for a perfectly written Spider-Man movie.
But you know what? I felt like the cameos in this did serve a little bit to the story, and especially the last cameo we see.
Yeah.
That sort of does lead to the story. But I mean, I understand there was going to be so many cameos, but I've also felt like that would have just been like a pop-up, like fan service moment, and it would have been gone.
Yeah.
This cameos that we do see, I feel like they do contribute a little bit to the story. Like in terms of, I can't say it, but in terms of the point where Doctor Strange is in that storyline, I feel like it did add to it.
It did add to it, but it wasn't like when you compare it to like Spider-Man No Way Home, right?
Yeah, that was like,
it's just the way that the cameos are done in that movie. I think are just perfect. That's how you do cameos.
See, I wouldn't even call that as a cameo then, because they were like integral in that story.
In a way, they were integral to that movie, and that's probably why I don't like it here, because it just feels like really they weren't really that integral to this story in a way, like for Multiverse of Madness. But I mean, it's just a different level. I mean, it just harkens back to why I just don't think this was written well or directed well.
Yeah. In terms of CGI and music and the look of the whole movie, it's brilliant. It looks so good. Like CGI, there are some places hit and miss. But overall, I felt like it's a very beautiful looking movie.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like that one-eyed monster actually, at the start. I thought the CGI was that was didn't mind it.
It was good, yeah.
I really liked when America Chavez uses the star portal, and that whole visual of the star just like it looks crazy. But we're gonna talk about America Chavez actually.
Yes. She's a new character in this.
Yeah, new character that sort of is with Doctor Strange throughout this whole movie as well. What did you think of America Chavez?
Look, I thought yes, it's a new character for me, and it's a new actor. I don't think I've ever seen her before, but I thought she played it okay. Like I thought it was a good interpretation. There are some lines like dialogue wise where she's a young like teenage girl, I think, isn't she teenage? I don't know, but the lines are a bit like they could have been in any movie. It's like it should have been a bit better, but I felt like her character served its purpose, and yeah, it was good for me. It's like this whole movie, it was good. Like it wasn't the greatest thing, but it was good, right?
Yeah,
and that's why that's my opinion on Chavez.
Yeah, like walking straight out of the theater, I was like, yeah, my initial thoughts were that like I just didn't like the actress's portrayal. I mean, I like the character of America Chavez and who she is, but I just didn't like the portrayal that was done here by that actor. And I thought at the time maybe it was the actor, she's new screen, maybe like it wasn't that good of a portrayal. But then I still think this links back to the writing. Like it's just not written well. Like the dialogue was very stilted, very generic in a way as well. And to me, yeah, like it's just, yeah, it just. And plus, if we look at some of the cuts in the movie, they do look out of place. There's a lot of scenes where I felt like I was taken out of the movie when I can see there's an obvious cut when certain dialogue makes, there's a scene with certain dialogue and then all of a sudden the scene just changes and it's like there's no reasoning for the change. There's no dialogue that actually facilitates that change. It's just like
deleted scenes.
But like it's just it's just cut in a very odd way. I'm okay for cutting scenes, but cutting it like mid scene like that to where the scene just doesn't make sense in a way. That's what it feels like in some parts, and that's where it takes me out of the movie. That's where it's like I'm watching a movie, like I'm not sucked into the story. But yeah, it happens a couple of times, and luckily it doesn't happen more than that. But like you do sort of get that, and I think you get this probably in the first hour. Is it? Yeah.
So, yeah. The pacing was good. I thought the pacing was good because it does go at a quite swift pace.
Yeah.
And there's not one moment where you think, oh, well, I'm getting bored in this, right? It does.
It's fun. That's why, like, it's writing is whatever.
Something's always happening.
It's a fun sort of Raimi movie in a way. In some ways, there's a lot of horror elements in this as well.
Yes.
And it's fun. And WandaVision story is a little bit. I disagree with you in that. Like, you didn't like that, but I liked the continuation in a way where, like, it's because I have watched WandaVision, so I liked it, but I don't know what other people would. But like,
as a Doctor Strange movie, I didn't like it. If it was a Wonder movie, I would have loved it.
Yeah. And because it does delve into the character and why she's, but again, it just feels like some parts of it, the execution of it is just not there. It's not up to It's not up to the Marvel mark, and like maybe Raimi's not the right choice for this, for Marvel movies, and yeah, I think it just didn't mesh well. And at least with current Marvel, right, where Marvel is right now in terms of how they make their movies, I just don't know whether Raimi meshed well with where he is at in his career.
And the other characters, so of course we've got Doctor Strange, who Cumberbatch is always brilliant in his character, and of course Wanda was really good as well. Another character which I felt they gave a lot to was Wong in this.
Yeah, he's cool.
So Wong got a lot to do in this. A lot more than the previous movies. If you're a Wong fan, you'll enjoy this.
This is Sorcerer Supreme, man. So.
Yeah, mate. He had good dialogue and he had a lot of action scenes, so you'll love this if you're a Wong fan.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's the cameos, of course, which do sort of play a part. But overall, look, I think 7 out of 10 for me. I think it's worth a watch in the cinema because of the beautiful sort of vision and sound there.
I've heard they've actually brought back like 3D for this. 3D, and it actually looks sick in 3D.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know if it's a new type of 3D, but it looks sick. And maybe they're sort of preparing, I guess, the audiences again for Avatar when it releases.
So in America, 3D is continuing from what I've seen.
Oh really?
For ages, yeah. In Australia, they've cut back on a lot of 3D.
Well, I don't see 3D anywhere in the cinemas now.
Yeah. So that's yeah. But apparently this was in 3D, and you're right, Avatar is coming out, and they apparently showed the Avatar trailer before this as well.
Yeah, I saw it. It was sick.
So
we could discuss that in another video, but it was.
It's like just a quick chat about that. So Cameron said it is going to be a little bit different, the 3D.
Yeah,
it's going to be more refined, and Avatar when it initially came out, it was crazy, because that was the first sort of real 3D.
Yeah.
But another video.
Definitely.
So 7 out of 10 for me, 7 out of 10 for me. Do you have any other final comments?
Yeah, I mean, look, it might sound like I'm bagging on the movie, but I actually thought it was okay.
It's worth a watch.
I thought it was okay, but for me, a movie that was hyped so much and had so much expectation of it, I guess is why I feel a little down. And why maybe it being okay is a letdown in a way, but. I mean, if you were to just judge it, it's okay.
So I'd probably put this. So this is after No Way Home for me, and probably, of course, I feel like it's better than Black Widow. So.
Oh yeah, anything's better than that. Falling asleep in the theater there, in my home theater.
So guys, definitely check it out. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. We thought it was a good movie, worth a watch in the cinema. Please check it out. Please like our video, share it if you can, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below because we appreciate all of your feedback, and we shall see you in the next video. Peace.